Okay, in the previous lecture, we worked through a scenario where in a repeated game, infinitely repeated game, a cooperative, or in other words, a collusive outcome can be sustained with the following trigger strategy. So firm A and B will cooperate as long as neither other firm has ever cheated in the past. If any player cheats, if my rival cheats, I'm going to punish my rival by choosing the Nash equilibrium for the foreseeable time period. If you cut your price, I'm going to cut my price. We're both going to lose money. So let's just play with these numbers and see how that might work. So here we have the same normal form game that we've been working with. And the question is, what are the benefits of cheating? Well, the benefits of cheating is 50 minus $10. And then what are the costs of cheating? Well, that's $10 because forever after, we're losing $10 that we could have been making, and we're just earning 0. So 10 divided by I is the discounted present value, measuring the cost of cheating. Okay, but we don't know what this discount rate is. If a business firm has a goal of maximizing the present discounted value of profits, then the interest rate might be a market interest rate, like what you would earn on corporate bonds or the rate of return in the stock market. But there's evidence that business firms are more myopic, and they're more nearsighted. So firms might have a higher implicit discount rate. Okay, so instead of doing like the book and saying, hey, the interest rate is 40%, let's just see what the threshold interest rate would be on whether you determine whether you should cheat or not. Okay, so the question now is, what is the implicit discount rate threshold? Okay, so let's go back to the formula that Bay and Prince gives you in the book. Take the benefits of cheating and divide that by the cost of cheating. So the benefits of cheating would be 40, and the cost of cheating would be 10. And that is equal to 4. So the implicit discount rate can be found by setting the ratio of benefits to cost to 1 over the interest rate, and then solving that for the interest rate, that's equal to 25%. Okay, so if the business firm manager has an implicit discount rate greater than 25%, then they're going to cheat. A higher discount rate means that you value the future less than if you have a low discount rate. So the higher the discount rate, the greater the chances that someone's going to cheat in a repeated game. Okay, so now let's think about the things that might affect collusion in these pricing games. Okay, so the goal of the firms is to sustain collusion. And you can do that with punishment strategies. And punishment strategies are easier, first of all, when the firms know who their rivals are, so they know who to punish. That seems obvious. Okay, and another good piece of information is to know who your rival's customers are, so you can steal those customers with lower prices. Okay, if you don't know who the customers are, then you don't know who to reach out to. You don't know who to send your salespeople out to try to get those customers' business with the lower prices. Okay, and you also need to have full information on when your rivals deviate from the collusive agreement. You need to know when the rival cuts price. That seems obvious. because that's the only way you'll know when to begin punishment, when to lower your price. And then the punishment needs to work. If you cut your price, you need to be able to attract more market share. Okay, and then some other factors that affect collusion: the number of firms in the market. The fewer the firms, the more likely that those firms will be able to cooperate. One reason is that when you are cooperating with people, you need to be able to monitor their behavior. So the more firms, the greater the monitoring cost. Larger firms will be able to afford to monitor their rivals, okay, due to things like economies of scale. Okay, the history of the market matters. Okay, if business firms know each other, then tacit collusion is more possible. Okay, you can either cooperate explicitly by calling up a rival and saying, hey, let's raise prices. Okay, that's what barbers used to do. They still might do it, but I know they used to do it because one time I was getting a haircut and the price had gone up, posted price had gone up, and say, well, hey, how do y'all know? I mean, how do you know when it's time to raise your price? And I was expecting the barber to say, yeah, sometimes, the costs go up or my rent went up. And the barber said, well, one guy calls another guy and says, hey, it's time for us to raise our prices. So that's explicit collusion. Tacit collusion does not involve explicit conversation, and it's easier to do when you know your rivals. And the types of punishment mechanisms that you have available to you matter. It's harder to punish rivals in a posted price market, and that's because of these menu costs that we've talked about. Okay, and if everyone knows what the price is, if you posted the price, it's harder to cut it. But if you can negotiate a price with your competitors' rivals, then that's easier. You can still charge a higher price for people for your own customers.